Here are the 16 must-do things if you're visiting Universal Orlando this year. Now, there's never a bad year to visit Universal Orlando, but 2026 isn't going to be as big as 2025. But Epic Universe is open, rocking and rolling now, and you can get on a multi-day ticket. So these 16 things are going to cover things at Islands of Adventure, Epic Universe, and Universal Studios Florida. I'm not super well versed in Volcano Bay yet. I need more trips to figure that out. The Volcano Bay video, it's going under refurb this year anyway at the end of the year. Without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting at number 16. Now, these are in no particular order. This isn't a ranking. These are just 16 things I think you must do if you're visiting. Starting with 16, which is Velocicoaster. If you know me, you know this is my favorite ride at Universal Orlando and Islands of Adventure. This is truly a world-class roller coaster. It has recognition as one of the best roller coasters, not just in the US, in the entire world. It's fast, it's intense, it's thrilling, it's everything you want in a true roller coaster. On top of that, it's got great theming and storytelling, in my opinion. I like to say this is two roller coasters in one, with the first half being very claustrophobic, where things kind of having near-miss opportunities and raptors popping out at you. And then it has a second launch that launches into a very intense and awesome roller coaster that you can see when walking around. It is phenomenal for thrill seekers. It is phenomenal for coaster enthusiasts. I will say, it's a family-friendly roller coaster. This is intense, but it is well worth it. It is an awesome roller coaster that to me is the best overall ride at the entire resort. Now, number 15, and going to a more family-friendly type roller coaster, is Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Now, this one has some speed to it. It's got multiple launches, but has just as much storytelling and theming as Velocicoaster. This one doesn't have any inversions. It's more family-friendly there in the fact that it does not go upside down, but there is some very cool coaster elements on it that I won't spoil, but especially at the end has one of the most unique roller coaster elements I've ever experienced on a ride. It is a Harry Potter fan's dream, obviously. It's a very unique roller coaster because it has the motorbike and the sidecar, so it gives you two different experiences there. It's a great ride to re-ride. You might not be able to because the line will definitely be super long. It's probably the most popular attraction at Universal Orlando when it comes to line and guest satisfaction. But even if you're not a Harry Potter fan, you'll still love this attraction. It has enough Harry Potter elements to really satisfy a Harry Potter fan, not so much thrown in your face that you won't enjoy it if you're not a Harry Potter fan. This is a great one, also one of the best, my second favorite roller coaster at Universal Orlando, and they're both in the same park, Islands of Adventure. Now, number 14 on my list is The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man. This was the best screen-to-dark ride that they have at Universal Orlando, was the best screen ride, quote-unquote, that they have here at Universal Orlando. It is a phenomenal attraction. It was built so long ago, does not feel dated at all. The effects still work very well. The screens still work very well. The 3D elements work very well. I think this was the best of the bunch of all that. And you could make the argument still is the best of the bunch of all that. Such an innovative ride when it was built, and it still works to this day. I can't stress that enough. It's got a very good queue, a good story, fast paced, but it's fun and easy to follow. It's up there as one of the best dark rides and one of the best screen rides that you can ride in an amusement park. I think this is a must-do every time you go to Universal, without a doubt. Name some big-time rides, but you must do those big-time rides. They're popular for a reason, but this one you won't even have to wait for. This is a hidden gem, the hidden gem to me of Universal Orlando. It's an Islands of Adventure, and it's Camp Jurassic. Singing the praises of Camp Jurassic since the first time I ever walked through it. Now, this is a perfect family-friendly area for people to either relax or for kids to blow off steam. Now, I was a very high-energy kid. I love those areas in the park that were like almost big playgrounds and well-themed playgrounds with netting and rope courses and caves and slides and stuff like that. That's what Camp Jurassic is, times 10. It is so well themed. Of all the playgrounds and areas for kids to run around and families to explore, this to me is the most well themed. It's called Camp Jurassic for a reason because it's in the Jurassic Park, Jurassic World region of Islands of Adventure, and it fits it so well. It feels so much bigger than the layout is because there's so many twists and turns. It's easy to get lost in there to have fun, but they have these caves you can explore. Like I said, they have those rope netting and obstacle course type things in there. I think kids could easily spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in here because I can easily spend an hour and a half, 2 hours in here. I think it's awesome. You get a cool view of Velocicoaster. You get a cool view of the land. You're having somebody wait for Pteranodon Flyers, the kids' only roller coaster they have there. This is a good spot to have the rest of the kids. There are spots to sit down and relax, but there's spots for the whole family to enjoy. Both kids and adults can enjoy this, and it's a good step away from the major crowds at Islands of Adventure. And like I said, there's no line. You just walk right into it. It is an awesome thing. I love Camp Jurassic. I think every theme park should have areas like this, in my opinion. Number 12. We're going to the food route, and that's Mythos. Now, if you've passed by Mythos and Islands of Adventure, you probably saw the banner. It says something as voted as the #1 theme park restaurant in the world. I don't know if I'd go that far, but Mythos is definitely a good restaurant and I recommend eating there. I don't typically recommend sit-down restaurants. I like to do quick services because you get the food quicker and then you can get back to the action a lot quicker. But this is definitely worth it. If you're planning to do a sit-down restaurant on your trip, I recommend Mythos at Islands of Adventure. It's got great theming indoors, a good bar, a very good menu, great service every time I've been there. I like Mythos a lot. Like I said, that banner says it's the #1 theme park restaurant in the world. Obviously, that's high expectations, but I think it is a very good restaurant and definitely worth stopping and having a sit-down meal. If you're somebody who's coming with a big party and you guys kind of all separate, but you want to do meals together, this is the spot to really do it. At the beginning and end of a trip, really enjoy Mythos a lot as a whole. Between the theming, between the service, between the menu, between the bar, for it all, I think it is a great sit-down restaurant. And if you're going to do one, make it this one. Now, as we move into number 11, we're going to Epic Universe because there's a few can't miss things here. First of all, Epic Universe as a whole, you shouldn't miss it. It's a brand new theme park. I made a video about tempering your expectations, which I think you definitely need to do. But if you do choose to go to Epic Universe, which I recommend because it is so well themed, these are the can't miss things. Starting with number 11 is Monsters Unchained. One of my favorite, probably my number 2 attraction in all of Universal Orlando. I am a little biased because I love the Universal monsters, but I truly think objectively it is that good. This is, when I was talking about Spider-Man, where I was like, it was my favorite screen and dark ride. It was because Monsters Unchained took my number 1 spot there. It does the Forbidden Journey arm. So if you've been on the Forbidden Journey, the ride in the Hogwarts Castle at Islands of Adventure, it's that type of KUKA. I think they call it arm system that kind of takes you around like that. I don't know if that's a good, I hope I'm making sense here. And it has screen-based elements, but a lot less than Forbidden Journey. The screens are more of a background here. The real star of the show is the animatronics here. They're unbelievable. There is a ton of animatronic. There's a ton of practical set elements that make it more of a dark ride that uses screens as a background. It's a lot of fun. I compare it to being like thrown into a movie. It's like being thrown into that, right? That's what it feels like. It's got a great queue, phenomenal facade, a great pre-show, and it is just a great ride. It is one of the best they have to offer. And the best part is, it is very high capacity and they're super efficient. So you're gonna be able to re-ride this multiple times. It's got a very efficient single rider line. So once you do it once, if you're cool with splitting up, you can hit the single rider line. I'd recommend at least doing the regular line once because the single rider line only shows you some of the queue. You wanna walk through as much of the queue as possible. One of the best rides there for sure. You cannot miss this if you're going to Epic Universe. If you're going to Universal Orlando, it's worth the price of admission alone. Another ride worth the price of admission alone is Stardust Racers. Now, I will say Stardust Racers is like Velocicoaster, very intense, not going to be for the whole family, but Stardust is awesome. It is a dueling coaster, which is just so cool to do, to literally be going upside down into an inversion and be looking at somebody else in the eyes in another cart. It's crazy. It's a multi-launch coaster, very well done, great design, great layout. It's fast, it's surprising. Each element of the coaster is just so much fun. It's great during the day and great at night and has a different soundtrack at night, which I think is a very cool little addition that they do. And like I said, it's a dueling coaster and it's also very efficient. You should do both sides. Do both green and yellow. I like green a little bit better. One of my friends likes yellow a little bit better. It's definitely worth doing both. Sitting in the front for one, trying to sit in the back for the other. If you're sitting in the back, get ready. It's going to whip you. It's intense, but it's smooth at the same time. It's awesome. I think Stardust Racers is a can't miss. It's my number 3 coaster because I like my coasters with a lot of theming, which is why Velocicoaster and Hagrid's are a bit more enjoyable for me. This doesn't have as much theming. It doesn't take away from it too much. That's just a personal preference there, but it is an awesome coaster. You can't miss it. It's a lot of fun. Now, number 9 is Battle at the Ministry. This is the Rise of the Resistance competition that Universal has added to their parks, and it is unbelievable. Such a large scale. First of all, even if you don't go on the ride, you got to walk into the Ministry. You got to walk into it and see this. The reveal is just awesome. No video, no picture does it justice. As a Harry Potter fan, this is a dream because it is like walking onto the set, walking truly into the world of Harry Potter, into this Ministry right here. The queue itself is solid as well. And then the ride is just so advanced. It is a more heavily screen-based ride. It is such a large scale. When you go into some of these sets, I mean, they are just so huge. The animatronics, a lot of them look very good. It's so cool. It is just such an accomplishment. What an achievement in the theme park world. It is definitely worth the price of admission, in my opinion. The story is solid, not amazing, but it's solid, easy to follow. You kind of know what you're getting into. If you've been on another Harry Potter ride, it's them on a mission and somehow we get roped into it, but it works. It is just unbelievable. What an achievement in the theme park world. Just the scale of this all is just unbelievable. It's such a good ride. Now, number 8 for me is a quick service restaurant at Epic Universe, and I'm recommending it's Pizza Moon. You know how I feel about theme park pizza if you watch my videos. I think most of it stinks. Pizza Moon is one of the exceptions. I think this is the best quick service for families, one of the best quick services for families, if not the best I've ever experienced. So Pizza Moon, very well themed, very fun, very Not what you would expect when you walk in, but it's just very well done. Great air conditioning. The way you can just order right on your phone on the table, so you can all sit down and the pizza is brought to you. They have multiple different versions of pizza that are all very shareable. So if you have a family of 8, I firmly believe you could get 2 of these pizzas and you could each have a couple slices and feel full. And they have tables for big families. They have tables for small families. They have tables just for 2 people. But it works. It's a very shareable restaurant with good theme park pizza. Now, they removed my favorite pizza from the menu, which is the Space Cowboy. I hope that comes back. But overall, every single pizza I've tried from there, I've enjoyed. The theming is good. The pizza is good. It is a very shareable and very family-friendly quick service restaurant for everybody to grab a slice of pizza, multiple slices of pizza, feel full, and not take away too much time from their day. I recommend Pizza Moon a lot. If you're eating at Epic Universe, it may not be the best overall meal, but definitely if you're just looking for a quick lunch or a quick dinner to get you through the rest of your day, this is the one to do. You can't miss it because it is good theme park pizza, which is hard to find. The next one up is The Mummy, Universal Studios Florida. The rest of this list, the next 5 are going to be at Universal Studios Florida, and then the number 1 thing, which again, out of order, is for every single one of the parks. The Mummy is one of the best indoor roller coasters I've been on. It perfectly combines a roller coaster and a dark ride. There's another one on this list that is more dark ride than coaster. It's still great, but this one perfectly combines the thrill of a roller coaster with a dark ride. I think this is a coaster that definitely has its intense moments, a good drop, some speeds, but a lot of people can do it. It feels like you're on a movie set, which is what Universal Studios is all about, so it feels like just a classic Universal ride. It is very well done. Some of the effects are having some trouble still, but it is a lot of fun. That's part of the charm. I think this is a great roller coaster for the majority of the family to do, and like I said, perfectly combines those dark ride elements with a roller coaster. I love stuff like that. Number 5 is Gringotts. Now, the queue of Gringotts is unbelievable. Even if you're not a fan of the Harry Potter movies, you're going to love it. Now, this is the one I was talking about. That is a coaster. It has a bit of a small drop, but it's mostly a screen ride / dark ride that is using a coaster track to get you around. There's not a ton of high speeds there. Like I said, it's a small drop, but it is a great ride, a great screen ride. It has a good length to it, a great queue, great story. I think Gringotts is a must-do, whether you're a Harry Potter fan or not. Number 4 on this list is Men in Black Alien Attack. Now, this is one of them like shoot 'em type games, similar to Toy Story Mania, Buzz Lightyear, if you've been on one of them. But I think this is one of the best shoot 'em type games I've ever been on in my life. Now, it is a bit dated, and again, that's part of the charm. The IP, the guns, the sets can feel a bit dated, but that's just kind of what it is with Men in Black. And this is a lot of fun. Like I said, it's a great shoot 'em game. It's great for those competitive. Everybody can have a lot of fun. At its core, it's a shoot 'em type game where the aliens and everything is pretty much all practical. Outside of one thing, it's pretty much all practical sets. It's not a screen ride. So if you're somebody who doesn't like screen rides, this is one for you. And if you're somebody who likes shoot 'em up games, they're just a fun time, this is the one for you. The air conditioning in Men in Black is the best air conditioning, second best air conditioning on property. Number 1, the best air conditioning is still coming up on this list. Fun ride, a very good ride that you won't wait too long for. I think Men in Black is a must-do. It is family fun for the entire family. Kids love it, teens love it, and adults love it. It'll be a hit for everybody. Speaking of classic Universal, up next is E.T. I don't know where I'm at the list. I'm looking at my notes and I realized I think I messed up somewhere. I forgot one or I'm missing one. I don't know. My bad. Having the time of my life filming a video right now. Sometimes I lose track. I like talking about this stuff. E.T. Is classic Universal. It is a must-do if you like classic Universal park history and just enjoying a nice, smooth, family-friendly dark ride. It's a very unique dark ride that takes you up into the air. It takes you into the movie of E.T. It feels a little dated. It is pretty dated, and it's awesome. It's just an OG. If you want that classic Universal feel, you got to go on E.T. It is just such a fun, classic, nostalgia-based dark ride that is just awesome. And one of the most important things on this list that I'm saying is a must-do is to get a butterbeer. It's what everybody talks about. It's the most famous treat / snack / drink at Universal that they have to offer. There's a bunch of different ways to get butterbeer. I prefer the frozen in the summer and the hot butterbeer in the winter. I think a hot butterbeer is great on a cold day, and a frozen butterbeer is great on a hot day. I think regular butterbeer is the weakest version of butterbeer, so I think that you should either get frozen or hot, depending on the temperature outside. They are both great. I interrupt this video to tell you I remembered the one I forgot in editing, and that is the Born Stuntacular. This is a stunt show in Universal Studios, Florida. Make sure you hit this show. This is one of the best stunt shows I've ever seen. That's a can't miss thing. If the horror makeup show is open, you should do that, but I know it's going down for like a little refurbishment, so it might not be open on your trip this year. check that one out as well, but definitely hit the Bourne Stunt Show. That's another.
Now, those are my can't miss things if you're going to Universal Orlando. Obviously, if you are a Harry Potter fan, make sure you do everything Harry Potter. It's all great, but I'm trying to make a list that combines interest of everybody. So if you're a Harry Potter fan, do that. Go to Epic Universe if you can. Walk around, explore the themes there. There's some rides that you don't really have to do. I named the ones that you can't miss, but you definitely want to walk around and explore the lands they have to offer there. And at Islands of Adventure, I think Islands of Adventure is still my favorite theme park in Orlando. It's unbelievable. These are 100% things that you should not miss. Now, there's a bunch of great rides that you definitely want to do. I'll give you a little tidbit here. I think you should do Jimmy Fallon and Fast and Furious if you're going this year, just because I think those are going to be the next to close. In the next couple of years, I think Jimmy Fallon will go away, and I think Fast and the Furious, the ride Supercharged, will also go away. Supercharged is one of the worst rides I've ever been on in my life, so go into it ready to laugh. I think you should come in with that mindset. Jimmy Fallon is an okay ride. I just think it's going to close, so that's a little extra right there, that if you're going this year and you want to do rides before they close, I think you should knock out those as well. That's my list for can't miss things. Let me know in the comments what yours might be, and if you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to answer them down there. Thank you for watching. As always, I make videos on all the Orlando theme parks. Subscribe, it helps me out a ton, and I will see you on Sunday.